Oh, copyright. Gotta mute it, bruh. Gotta mute it. They hit me with the copyright quickness. Can't going for that. They got invisible suits and jackets. Why wouldn't they have a plane?
You see the hologram, right? Well, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real, and found out later he was a hologram.
It's a synthetic. The synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, you guys see random video on the boys from Brazil? Read it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Soviets had a different method.
Making people meaning temporary people?
No, working people.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just going to act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? It needs food. But they can use cows and sheep too. It's, again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone. Because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. The original technology was given to our government by the Greys. Now, the reason was, because our scientists were all excited because we had spare parts. If you need a heart or a liver or anything, you won't have any rejection. It's your own DNA, right?
Okay, because theoretically, if we have overpopulation, we don't need more people, right?
In China, they're going around and stealing everybody's food, spraying all their houses with poison and basically stealing all their food out of their fridges. If people they think are testing COVID positive, they're wrapping them up in tape and putting them in vehicles like they're a package or something.
Oh, hell no. I told y'all this ain't in America, bruh. Man, all the homies going down with this. Bro, we causing hell on earth for this, bruh. Bro!
And they're even testing vegetables for COVID.
Oh, I know you. You can't be serious.
All joined together by the Internet of Things, and the urban environment is as antiseptic as a Zurich pharmacy. But this technology could also be used to keep every citizen under round-the-clock surveillance. In future, Alexa will pretend to take orders, but this Alexa will be watching you clacking her tongue and stamping her foot. In future, voice connectivity will be in every room and almost every object. Your mattress will monitor your nightmares. Your fridge will beat for more cheese. Your front door will sweep wide the moment you approach like some silent butler. Your smart meter will go hustling of its own accord for the cheapest electricity, and every one of them minutely transcribing your every habit in tiny electronic shorthand, stored not in their chips or in their innards, nowhere you can find it, but in some great cloud of data that lowers ever more oppressively over the human race. AI. What will it mean? Helpful robots, washing and caring for an aging populational pink-eyed Terminator sent back from the future to cull the human race.
Not too far from 90% of the African American population in the Americas has Native ancestry, has an original ancestry. And so when you start talking about civics, and that's the reason why I say I don't subscribe to civil rights at all. Civil rights is not for us. Our fight is human rights. As indigenous people to this land, and we are indigenous people to this land. The federally recognized tribes, they're not going to tell you that, because the federally recognized tribes have taken PACs and they've taken money from the government to keep the information out of the hands of our people. Everybody has had a hand in our oppression, collectively. Every other group that has come here as immigrants, whether they came because the Native American population that we look at as TV Indians or Hollywood Indians, their ancestors came here from across the Barren Straits from Siberia. So they are not indigenous people. When they got here, they met people that look like us. Okay, so the population that comes from racism, systemic racism, the same way they whitewash anything else, they whitewash the history. And they made the federal government to be.
The strategy that Werner von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy.
Russia now issuing a new warning to the United States.
Putin parading his nuclear arsenal this past weekend, showing off to the world what Russia is capable of.
Preparing for potential cyber attacks in retaliation for America's actions to counter Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow.
China is using its unprecedented military drills to prepare for a full-scale invasion.
Chinese military has carried out an attack simulation exercise.
China unleashed an intense show of force today.
And the next enemy was asteroids.
An asteroid, Bill Ray, the size of 2 Empire State Buildings will be passing by Earth today.
An asteroid that is wider than the tallest building in the world is set to make one of its closest encounters with Earth.
An asteroid bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, measuring about 525 feet, will be passing by Earth today.
The last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens.
UFOs are a potential national security threat.
We take the issue of unexplained aerial phenomenon seriously.
We don't know who they are. We don't know what it is. It isn't ours.
If there is an adversary with that kind of technology, we definitely need to be very, very careful.
And all of it, he said, is a lie.
Nah, y'all, it's an old video, but it's time to be serious, man. I really got to speak on this shit.
I've been personally playing for about 8 years now.
Hold on, man. Run that shit the fuck back.
I've been personally playing for about 8 years now. It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out. Because the song was so big, and they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there. And this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt, people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down and it was like an all-white room. And they opened one of the doors. And it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please Please, no, not the Gucci suit. They said it's the Gucci suit. This is the only way that you can repay for what you've done. And I said, not the Gucci suit, please. And they said, it's the Gucci suit.
Are joking. They're not joking.
They said, we ran some facial recognition programs on you, and you're going to need to be this man. And you're going to need to also contradict whatever you speak about so you can create a balance in this scene of hip-hop that you're in, because you're the only one who can really pull it off. And I said, oh, man. So, yeah. They came out with this whole thing. Gucci Mane is actually, he's locked up somewhere and he's still fat.
First things first, we need to start listening to these celebrities. Cause I ain't gonna lie, Hobson is not fucking joking. Yeah, he may come off joking. He's only joking so when he gets confronted by the Illuminati, he can play it like he was just joking. But that nigga's telling the fucking truth. Nobody does shit like that. Nobody goes live and tells the world that they're pretending to be somebody else for the Illuminati. So peep game though, for all my Gucci fans. Hey, if you know Guap, we know Guap ain't going for none of that shit. So you mean to tell me Hobson dropped this video a year ago admitting to be Gucci, and Gucci ain't once, not but once, shot back and let the world know, let his fans know that that's some bullshit? Nah, he just shoots back in joking matters and shit.
Oh yeah, y'all mean to tell me Gucci didn't go to his own mother's funeral? Nah, I know Guap love his mama, man. Y'all tripping, man.
All celebrities in Hollywood are being controlled.
I actually want to say a lot of things, but I'm just going to mind my business because sometimes I feel like I have such a big platform that if I don't say the right things, I might get killed. But
By the right thing, she means her agenda. All celebrities have an agenda and role to play. And if they speak on anything outside of that role/agenda, they get targeted. That's exactly why she said what she said in that live. And if you haven't watched that live, she was talking about Russia versus Ukraine and her opinion on that. Here's where it gets a lot more interesting.
I don't want to be that girl anymore. I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? It's like these songs are activating these demons that
Cardi B's agenda is supposed to push this message into the youth. And that's exactly how I know.
Hey, y'all heard about that meeting that happened, right, in the 90s? How they had to change rap?
It makes its money either way. Let me explain. First thing to understand about the private prison business is that they're actually government contractors. They enter into a contract. Now, in that contract, they talk about a bunch of different things, but one of those things is price. Let's say it costs $100 a day to house an inmate. Well, naturally, any for-profit company is going to add a little bit of buffer in there so that way they can make a profit. So, the private prison may charge the government $125, $150 per day per inmate, for example. Now that's price. But another thing that might be in that contract is a thing called bed guarantees. This is where the government guarantees the prison that at least 90% of those beds will always be occupied for the duration of the contract. Yeah, the government guarantees it. In a contract. Which might leave you wondering, how can the government be so sure that many people will commit crimes? And the better question, what happens if they don't? Want to know what would happen if we all obeyed the law? The government would have to pay a fee to the private prison. That's right. Yeah, it's in the contract. For every empty bed that is not filled, for every law-abiding citizen that stays on the straight and narrow, the government is punished by having to pay a fee. And that's when you realize citizens are punished when they do commit crimes. The state governments are punished if they don't.
Right, you know you're about to get some goddamn education. Welcome to Whitewash, episode 1. Now, first up the bat, we have the founder of Chicago, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. And this motherfucker is not him. The real Jean-Baptiste was a so-called black man, actually of French and Haitian descent, born around 1745. After the establishment of Chicago, he married an indigenous woman named Kitsawa. You know what's crazy? Kitsawa would have been considered black these days. On to our next investigation, we have here Honest Abraham Lincoln. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, wait a goddamn minute. But before you reach for your tiki torches, let's see how Honest Abe described himself. Now, Abraham Lincoln described himself as having a dark-skinned complexion and coarse black hair. He also goes to describe his father as having a swarthy complexion and brown eyes. British journalist Edward Dicey stated that Lincoln's uncombed and uncombable dark hair stands up every which way. And that Lincoln's nose and ears were so big they had to be taken from a head twice his size. American writer Nathan Hawthorne said that Lincoln's complexion was dark and hollow, with a big ass nose. So why don't you ever find those features on the pictures you see of him?
I'm sure you've seen the movie Stargate. Exactly the same thing, except the frame is square, not round.
With it looking like water.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody tell you what that is in this portal?
Only that it takes you from point A to point B. There's several portals on this planet that I know of, that I've been told of.
And has anybody said when you go from point A to point B, you're leaving this universe and going to another dimension?
I would say some probably do, but the ones that they have experimented on, the point A being per se, heart. Heart, there's a portal there. That portal takes you from heart to right outside of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. And it's not a lingering travel. Once you step through the plane of water, per se, you're there. It's not like the movie Stargate that you see stars coming at you, clouds of space dust. Once you go through that plane of water, you're stepping on to point B.
What you're describing is that we're using extraterrestrial technology that are portals in which you can move A to B in space-time, and we're using it on the Earth to go from Alaska to Hawaii.
And the one that I know of that's been traveled through many times is at the heart facility.
Scientists tell us that we're only using 10% of our brain to wake up. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And then genetic scientists tell us that 97% of our DNA is junk. It has no purpose. It's just there. We're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's cool. Now, I don't want to go full-blown ancient aliens, but that's where I'm headed. 200,000 years ago, around about, something happened to us. We were like unplugged. We have 7 energy centers, and the top 5 were unplugged. And we were left with survival and reproduction. And so we're like walking around this planet. We're like, dude, what's going on? Why are we here? Dude, what's going on? Why are we here? So my point is
I wanted to stop the video and let you know that you can rise your vibration. We can get our DNA back.
what would happen if our DNA started to wake up? What if our DNA came back online? Who would we be? What is our potential? Well, we're about to find.
You remember that song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? How'd that song go? Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Think about those lyrics all the time.
There we going on right now. But what about you? What I do now? No, it was at one of your fights. And there's someone in the crowd with a camera phone.
One of these phones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't phone, right?
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that too.
That ain't trip you out?
Somebody showed me, that freaked me out.